Welcome to today's keyword session for our week. I'm merging both of them. That would be 12A, it's a world record, and 12B, have you ever? I'm your instructor, Joey Walker. So, in this introductory video for our key vocabulary and grammar, we have the following. In this session, in this video, we will learn big and small numbers, so all the numbers in general that are real, superlatives, which are basically the next step from comparatives, which we already know. We have present perfect, affirmative, negative, and interrogative forms, as well as questions and short answers with present perfect. Okay, so let's start with the numbers. So you already know the numbers 1 to 100. Remember, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, or 20. Then we have intermediates 21, 22, 23, 24, up to 30, and then 31, 32, 33, up to 40, and so on. Then we have 90, 100, 101, 102, 103, 120. We mix and match in order to have or build this number. So with this chart, we already know that. So let's talk about some other generalities about the numbers. For example, big and small numbers. This is from your textbook, 12A, which is a world record. That's a world record, page 96. This is the grammar section. So it says for numbers with a decimal point, we say point. For example, 0.2 or not zero point 0.2 if you're British. Okay, or 0.2, but that's less common. So we say 0.2 or not, that's not very common for American English, but for British is more common, all right? We say 2.45, 2.45 meters, for example. Here we have tips. Not or zero, we use it for numbers, but whenever we're talking on the phone, we say oh, right? We say oh. 1-800, it's the only exception. We don't say 1-800. No, we say 1-800. They're 1-800 numbers, but in this case, we're talking about zeros. For example, 609, that would be 609. 708, that would be 708. Okay, most commonly. Okay, in English, we write 7.5, not 7 comma 5. We use a decimal point, not a comma. Okay. So that's how we use it. Also, we can use one or a with 100,000 and a million. For example, we say 100 or 100, 1,000 or 1,000, and a million or 1 million. Okay. Another thing for long numbers, we use and after 100. For example, 101, 127, 598. Okay, but not after thousand and millions. Here we have other examples, 127. Even though you can say 127, you can omit and it is perfectly fine. All right, we have 850,000, 850,000, or 850,000, which I think is unnecessary. You can use it. For me, I'd just rather say 850,000, 850,000, right? And here we have 200, 300. It says 2,300, not 2,300, for example. Another cultural note, over here in the States, we use this ones, 4 digits, hundreds with double zero. For example, we say 23 and we say 100, 2,300, 5,600. 7,200 instead of 7,200. That's also very common for money. Okay. It says, and last note, we don't add a plural s to 100,000 or million. 32,000, not 32 thousands, 470. Okay. 50 thousands, not 50, sorry, million. 50 million, not 50 millions. But we can say hundreds, thousands, millions for a concert. Okay, millions of birds, hundreds of dollars. Okay, as a generality, we can say it like that. Okay, whenever we want to generalize. For example, we say there were hundreds of people at the concert. There's thousands of travelers right now. Okay, now we're moving on to superlatives. Here we already know comparatives. It's the same rule for comparatives, but in this case, we just change the endings and we change we change more or less. For example, here it says type one adjective. Most one syllable adjectives we add est or st, right? Okay. First, for example, we say long, longest, short, shortest. Okay. Whenever we have an adjective that finishes with an e, like nice, we just add the st. We say nicest, safest. Okay, so this is for one syllable adjectives. Whenever we have one syllable adjectives with an intermediate consonant in between two vowels, we double the consonant. It says one syllable adjectives ending in a consonant plus a vowel in a consonant. Example: big has a G between an E and an I, so we see double G, biggest. Hot, hottest, but not new, newest. We don't put double W, that would be an exception, but most of them do follow this rule. It says syllable adjectives ending with Y. Whenever we have that, we drop the Y and change it for I. We drop the Y, change it for I, and add EST. For example, the heaviest, the happiest, the nicest, the smartest. Well, and syllable adjectives not ending with Y, there are two or more syllables, we put most. The most or the least. Here's not in the grammar spot, but I can say, or we can use the least. The least expensive, or we instead of saying the most expensive, we can say the least expensive, depending. You can say the cheapest or the least expensive. Sounds nicer. Okay. Okay, so we say the most boring, the most crowded. And three syllable or more adjectives, we just put most all automatically. So this is long adjectives. For example, expensive, beautiful, the most beautiful. We have irregular adjectives like good, which is better in comparative, superlative is best, and bad, which is worse in comparative, and in superlative is worst. Okay, so with this, we wrap up our grammar, content, and vocabulary for 12A from your course book. Let's go to 12B. 12b, we have present perfect, and this one is going to take us a little longer. Remember, the present perfect, we use it to describe experiences, but we don't say specifically when these actions happened. If we pinpoint the action when it happens, it's a past tense. So here we have an example. We use the past simple if we say something that happened. 2 weeks ago, I went to Mexico. Or you can say, I have been to Mexico. First, I have been to Mexico. I went to Mexico 2 weeks ago. I would rather say I went to Mexico 2 weeks ago than 2 weeks ago I went to Mexico. We can use the present perfect if we can't use the present perfect if we want to say a time. I went to England in 2011 instead of I've been to England in 2011. That's impossible. If you want to pinpoint a time, you use past simple. If you want to leave it open as an experience without saying the specific time, you use present perfect. Here we have the grammar structure. We see affirmatives is have and has. I, we, you, they have. He, she, it has. Contractions VE. I, you, we, and they. He, she, it has, or his, she's, or its. And we add a past participle. Okay, remember, past participles are common two flavors or two forms. Regular verbs that's the same. For example, stay, stayed. Past participle would be stayed, the same. I've stayed in some of the world's best hotels, according to this example. All right, but we can also use them with irregular verbs, and those ones tend to change. Most of them do, anyways. For example, we've had lots of other jobs. That will be the past participle. Have, had, and had again. Write, wrote, and written. He has written or he's written. travel articles about lots of magazine amazing places. Sorry. Whenever we want to use the negative, we use the same auxiliary have for perfect tense, which add the not. So we see have not, has not, or contraction, haven't or hasn't, plus the past participle. Okay? They say, I haven't been to Australia. They haven't had a holiday together, and he hasn't been to South America before. Okay? So we can say, we in negative, I haven't. Or if you want to use affirmative, I have, in the time or adverb of time never. You can say, I haven't been to Australia, or I've never been to Australia. Okay, okay, that would be how we use it. And remember, for regular verbs, we add the ed or d for the infinitive. For example, work with ed, worked. Live, we add the d, lived, for the past simple. And for past participles, the regular verbs are all the same. Okay, so past simple is the same as past participle. For irregular verbs, there are no rules. We have to look for and learn the irregular verb list that comes in page 167. So you can go and look it up. I'm not going to do so because I would get lost in all the verbs, and I want to just explain the grammar. So if you want to make your sentences, go through that page and check the third list: is present, past, and past participle. All right. So whenever we have two participles, been and gone, we use the present perfect to talk about experiences that we usually use been. For example, I've been to Italy. Okay? That will be whenever we talk about experience, we use been. Okay? And gone, whenever we focus to the action. Okay? I've gone to Italy and I've been to Italy. Focus on been to Italy, the experience, and gone in the action. So whenever we want to make negatives, we already have that. So interrogatives. Whenever we want to make interrogatives, we use have you. We just switch I have to have I, have you, have he, has she, have they. We just change the order. In present perfect, we use have or has. If we want to make emphasis for at least, knowing or that this person has an experience, we say, have you ever? Have you ever been to Thailand? Have you ever been to Mexico? Have you ever been to? We say, have you ever been? So we use present perfect to ask about people's experiences. And in past simple, we ask the follow up question for more information. For example, have you been to Peru? Yes, I have. Okay, when did you go to Peru, for example? Instead of did you have a good time? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. That would be a follow-up question. So startup question about experience, follow-up question about a specific thing in this section. So whenever we have the questions, have I ever worked in a restaurant? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Check. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Yes, the pronoun and the auxiliary or auxiliary noun. Have you ever been to Canada? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Have you ever lived in the USA? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Or has he ever lived in the US? Yes, he has. No, he hasn't. So we use the same form. It says whenever we want to say that, yes, I have. No, I haven't. And whenever we want to make negative emphasis, we use never. Have you ever been in Canada? No, never. Have we ever been there before? No, never, or no, we haven't. Emphasis: no, never, or no, we haven't. All right. Okay. So we all extra tip. We always or tend to use ever. Have you ever for experiences? All right. Have you ever been to Peru? Have you ever sang in public? Have you ever gone to Mexico City? Have you ever traveled by train? Okay, so with this, we have all the experience we need for our first lessons for this week. So have fun, take care. I'll see you here the next time. Bye bye.